cup of tea and a little garden chat. Two of my favorite things. So I'm feeling really good about what all we accomplished in February. We got a lot done, eased into the gardening season by picking out 3 things that worked really well for us. Now March is very busy, a lot going on in the garden. So there will definitely be more than 3 things that get done, but I feel like that really helps me to prioritize when I have those things picked out, 3 things picked out. So for March, the 3 things will be, we're going to continue with the winter weeding. We're still working on the back border, and then we want to get started on the rain garden. We don't want that to get out of control. And then after that, and maybe alongside with, depending on the mood, we will also start doing the cleanup of the garden beds. So trimming anything dead, pruning. I think pretty much everything can be pruned in March. So roses need pruned, grasses, like perennials like chrysanthemums. You've got the old dead up here, and the new growth down here. We'll be cleaning all that up. So that and then you've probably noticed in a lot of my videos that are outside, there are leaves everywhere, and I leave the leaves because they provide a nice insulation to perennials, um, for when it gets bitter cold in the winter, and also they break down, and that's good for the soil. But there comes a time in the garden. I know some people like to leave them until they're completely broken down and whatnot, but there comes a point in time when I'm working in my veggie beds that I need the leaves gone. I need clean spots. Same with the flower beds. I don't want to like reach in and find a snake. Leaves need to go. So we will in around the steps of the house, that sort of thing. So we will get those all cleaned out. We'll blow the leaves out onto the grass, and himself will mulch them into the lawn. So they will continue to do some good. And then the third thing, which will probably actually be first on the list, is seed starting. We want to get some seeds started, see what all we've got. So there you have it. That's our plan for March. And I'm excited to show you what all happened this week in the garden for and adjacent areas, particularly my area out here. It looks so good. So there's a tour of that, along with a few other things that we had happen this week in the garden. Welcome to what I like to call the contrivance chamber. And I got the name from Miss Gail Carriger's Parasol Protectorate books. It all comes back to books for me. There is a character, Genevieve LeFou, that you see as a very young woman, as a young child. And her goal in life is to have her own contrivance chamber. She is an inventor. And later on, you see her as an adult, and she has a hat shop with a contrivance chamber underneath. So I just love that, and I thought it was a fitting name for this area. This is one of the garage off the house. To the left, there is the bigger garage that we park in. I think this particular room, you see up there, garage door, I think this was the original garage, and then you can see there's a little bit of where they've added on. So yeah, this is really great. Originally, when we moved in, I was going to take the little shed for my gardening supplies, but I was out there one day in the summer and there was a snake, and I was like, no, not gonna do that one. No. And besides, this has heat and air conditioning, which we do not use all the time. We just, if it's going to be bitterly cold, we make sure it's on to keep things from freezing. And then in the summertime, it's great if you're going to come in and work or make notes or pot something up here at the potting bench. It's great to get in out of the heat in the middle of the day when you don't really want to be out in the garden. So let me back up here and give you the full tour. This is where you walk in. Yes, we have an extra fridge with um, drinks and things in it. We like to call this the welcoming fridge because when you walk up to it, it lights up the door. And you, some wellies, my compressor for airing up my golf cart tires if need be. So yeah, this may look familiar to you. Yes, there is a clearance center used place in town that sells like leftover Walmart stuff. So we're using this for storage. We have a bin for tools. We have hats, gloves, various things. Um, we're using our new little doodad for our phone, so we're getting the hang of that in an effort to not have such jerky footage. So yeah, buckets for picking and plucking and washing and whatnot. Uh, Plant food, extra pots. Like most gardeners, we, 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 we don't want to get rid of the good plastic pots. We might need them. This is some homemade weed killer that's made with vinegar that I made up last year. Extra pots. These I just found and got on sale, and they will probably have citrus. I need to transplant some of my citrus to bigger pots. And I like green pots. I like the green just sets off everything. The only exception I have to that is I have these red ones that get used on the front porch. And then I have a few accenting ones. So yeah, tools, hummingbird feeders. Let's see, my cute little signs that have been gifts, and that one was rescued from the burnt house. So yeah, just various things that I want to use in places and we haven't quite found a spot for. The augers, doormats, that sort of thing. And then let's go out here. So I'm really happy I got all my area cleaned up and tidied up, and I found my heat mats. I didn't realize that they were in the glass house, which the glass house was fine, but I didn't remember that I had them. A lot has happened in these past few years. So we've got I can plug that in. I don't have it yet because 58 and on the mat. So once I get things potted up, we will stick the sensor into one of the pots and keep track of the heat, what the heat is. So we're unplugging that for now. We needed new seed starting things because we have lots of pots, but we didn't have these bottom drainage ones. So they're you can get them with the little pellets of of soil rather, that you then water and plump up. I didn't really need. I don't particularly need that. I've got starting mix, so I bought 8, which will fit conveniently, comfortably on my 2 heat maps. I got these at, let me say it right. Himself says I always say it wrong, and I need to, if I'm going to be saying it on camera, I should say it right. Baumgars. Baumgars. It doesn't have a D in it, Annie. Baumgars. Anyhow, I got the Jiffy seed starting greenhouse kit, 72 cells, and it comes with some little bit of fertilizer and tags that you can use. So I've got 8 in total. It was on sale, 20% off. There's all their seeds starting supplies right now. I don't know how long that lasts. But so yeah, so I got 8. So I am ready to start seeding up. And then I have extra pots down here, different sizes. I did buy a couple, they had a couple of extra of the domes, so I got those. And I've got a few extra of the trays. So if I want to like use one of these or something, I have some and set it on the floor. I can water it without it all getting wet. And we have tidied up. I'm going to go this angle because the sun's coming in that window. These are the citrus that are left out here. They've done really well. I have a bunch of them in the house, but the ones out here have done just as well. And we've cleaned and tidied. We have some peppers in here. That one I transplanted does not look so great. That one right there, I swear it's dead. Himself says it's coming back. So, we'll see on that. And they may, oh, I see some growth. So, yeah, we'll let them go. And then various things that I want to plant up. And then in my golf cart, because last night let me see if I can, oh, there we go. Last night got really, really cold. It was like 23 this morning. So I brought my hanging basket in. These are camellias and they are pretty cold tolerant, but unless it gets bitterly cold, and yeah, 20, it was iffy. So, and also because they're in a pot rather than in the ground, that takes you up a different zone. And you can see these have a little bit of dead on them from where I left them out one night. It was too cold. But there's tons of new growth, so I just need to trim those off. And then this is winterberry. I find these every year, and I try to over summer them, but they do not like our heat, so they end up kind of giving it up at some point in time. But I really like them for a little bit of winter interest on the porch, and or on a table. I love the red berries. Deer don't seem to bother them, and what do we have here? These are April Trist. April Trist camellias. I saw them at a nursery, a big, big pot. Um, and I decided I wanted some little guys. So we're gonna put those in containers here, and then we'll might do that this evening. We don't know yet. And get those we'll probably use them on the porch. So yeah, my potting bench is looking good. Everything is just really looking good. It's a great space that you can come out and putter, because get that. It's like I say, it's right off the house. You can come out in your jammies and your slippers. You don't have to go outside and get wet. So yeah, there is the great contrivance chamber tour. So now that I have my seed starting supplies all ready to go, I thought I'd share what's in my basket of seeds. So I tend to, like a lot of gardeners, just love seed packages. They're so hopeful. And so I pick up a lot. Um, every year. I have some left from last year, which probably I should have stored in the freezer, but I didn't. But at least, it's not overly hot out here through the winter. So, yeah, that's what we've got. And let me also clarify I am not attempting to like have tomatoes ready to go at April 15th out in the garden, which if you want to grow your own, grow from seeds for tomatoes, you need to get those started. But I don't do that. I get my tomatoes locally from the tomato man's daughter. And so I support a local business and do that, and saves me time and energy. So the other thing is, I'm I want to have more growth more things from seeds so I can have more plants, a wider variety of plants, and just and also maybe like when stagger it a bit. So when the nurseries are starting to have less and less plants, or they're starting to look tired and whatnot, I've got some new stuff coming on that I could still plant and fill in replacements and whatnot. So that's what I aim for with seed starting, is unique varieties and plants that having more plants when there aren't any available. So my basket. Here's what's in my basket. Okay, we have a ton of cilantro and dill. We pick these up anytime we see them on sale, end of season, because we grow them a lot and we do succession planting. So we 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 always want to have some of those on hand. Next up, I'll set my basket down here on my table. Next up, I have from Floret Farms. So I got online at like the moment the sale started last fall, and you have to shop then because they sell out within like 10-15 minutes. And they do have pictures of what's going to be available a couple of days before, but you're just on there kind of like getting what you can. So I ordered um, Autumn Blaze Celosia. I love Celosia. And then also Petite Florets and Bee's Choice Dahlias. I have never grown dahlias from seed. Apparently, it is a thing. And then, if you like a variety, once it's bloomed out, you save the tubers and over winter. Um, so I ordered those. Side note: this is the first set that came, and maybe you can, I don't know if you can tell from the packaging, but the package was sealed, but when it arrived and I opened it, these were all damp. And so I contacted them, and I'm like, well, you know what I do? Because I didn't figure, since they sold everything so quickly, I didn't figure they'd have any to replace. And they were like, lay them out, let them dry, they should be fine, but just in case, we'll send you replacements. So I guess they do keep some back for replacements. So so these may or may not, but so I got double. And I also really appreciated their customer service, that they were right on it and getting me good seeds out. Um, Ooh, a summer favorite, zinnias. Mm. I love zinnias. They're one of my favorite summer flowers. If they had a smell, they would be perfect. So any variety I see, I collect, I pick up, and some of them, if I'm not really sure, like this one is called Cherry Queen, and it kind of looks like really, really red, but it could be also a bit pinky. So I think we will put those somewhere where we're not overly concerned with the color scheme. And then my favorite, lime green flowers. So this zinnia is called Envy. There's another variety out there as well, but I love lime green zinnias, and they remind me of competing at the county fair with my dear friend Mary. There was a category called Still Green and Growing, and everything had to be green, including the flowers. And we would go back and forth. One year I would win, one year she would win, and it was just something fun we did every year. And she passed away last year, so I really, really miss her. So when I grow green flowers, I will think of Miss Mary. So any variety of zinnias that I can find, super excited about. Swiss chard, bright lights. I want to put that in the garden beds. It could probably go in right now. Oh yeah, I think it can. I, one, because it's just so pretty, and two, I need to be eating more Swiss chard, and yeah, so a veggie that's not only tasty but pretty. And then sweet peas, mammoth salmon cream. Look at those. Pretty, pretty. I'm gonna be saying pretty a lot. So things like sweet peas and bells of Ireland, they really like cool spring temperatures, and we often get, the time from when freezing is over to it starts getting warm is really quick in Oklahoma. So sometimes these do not make it, but we're gonna try. And oh yeah, these are leftover from last year. I try every year. There's no picture on those. Lysianthus. I love Lysianthus, but they are notoriously hard to start from seed. They take forever. People who are professionals have trouble getting these to grow. I saw Laura from Garden Answer talking about how long it takes Lysianthus to start. So I got these seeds last year. So yeah, they'll probably still be viable. It's fine. We'll give them a go. We try and we try with Lysianthus, but yeah, they're they're problematic. Um, some hybrid petunias from Johnny's, double Cascade Blue and Cascade Valentine. That was like a cherry red. Double Zahara Cherry is a shorter zinnia, the smaller ones, and not so much for cut flower, just more for bedding flower. A giant lime, love me some lime. What else we got? Double Sahara Fire. Sadly, none of these have pictures on them. Um, King Coral Celosia and Fan Dance Celosia. So lots of those. And bright colors. We like bright colors. Then what do we got here? Oh, more salad greens, just a variety. We pick that up whenever we see it. We planted some, but then it got really cold, so it may or may not. We may need to reseed that. Ooh, Proven Harvest Buried Treasure Pink. I have some pink blooming strawberries, and they're so pretty out in the beds. Yeah, regardless of the fruit, the flower is just gorgeous. So I got some seed to try and get some more of those going. And also, I often find those at the local nursery that um, an Amish lady runs. She often has really great strawberry plants. So if I see plants with her, I'll get more there, and then I'll have seeds too. And then cucumbers, the garden bush pickle hybrid. We still have so many cucumbers and so many pickles in the pantry, but we will do more. Our usual variety that we like is pickle bush. There's pickle bush, homemade pickles. I want gherkins. I don't want ginormous cucumbers. I want little guys. So that's what we try to go for. Oh, bells of Ireland. Um, Now there's the large ones that get height 2.5 feet tall, but I think the ones that work best for me are called Pixie Bell, and they get 20 to 24 inches tall. So yay, Pixie Bells. Also, what a great name, Pixie Bells. And then we have, I ordered these last fall thinking I would get them planted, and I didn't. So, but we'll have them on hand for this year. A bunch of varieties of petunias. I'm not sorry, not petunias, pansies. St. Pansies. violas. Um, this one's particularly pretty. Oh, some primrose. Rhubarb. I would really like to grow rhubarb. I don't know if this is a variety that will be good for Oklahoma because it's a cool weather crop. So we will try our best with that, and we'll give it a go. We'll give it a go. More of those. What else have we got here? Um, Petunia, Spellbound Wine Red, and Spellbound Dark Purple. So those lovely. Some other small violas that I really would like to get started and put in very places where I need a ton. So I ordered oh, this says it has 1,000 seeds. Yellow perfection. No, yellow makes me happy. And then Johnny Jump Ups. Um, ooh, Nasturtium Black Velvet. That's pretty. Something called the California Bluebell that I probably just looked at and went, oh, that's pretty. Let's get that. So there's that. And then we've got radishes and turnips and collard greens and beets. I was probably in a root vegetable frame of mind when I purchased those. Ooh, these were left over from last year, but they'll probably do fine. Oftentimes with leftover seeds, you don't get as much germination, but if you've got a lot of seeds, it doesn't really matter. You just don't get quite as many plants, and that works too. Um, so Coleus, chocolate covered cherry. That would be pretty. I've got a red nasturtium, boxwood basil, makes cute little basils that look like boxwoods. Boxwood basil. Um, a free pepper that we got, a golden honey. You may or may not try that one. And then what else have we got in here? Oh, okay, we've got some pollinators, zinnia seeds. This is from my friend from the Garden of Donna. I think that's Garden Club Donna. Thank you. I know this particular thing, these seeds are from Garden Club Donna. So these are ají caballero peppers, and himself saw them when he was down in Puerto Rico, and he wanted to grow some to make this pique sauce. And so I had a ton of them, and I shared with various gardening friends. And then after we lost a lot of stuff because of the great freeze that happened to the glass house, um, I lost my plant, but somebody who I had given seeds to grew them out, and they harvested seeds. And because I wasn't around them at the time, they gave them to my friend Donna, who kept them for me and then passed them back to me. So they're a couple of years old, but I'm sure we will get at least one plant. And if not, I had found some extras that I got ordered. And scraping the bottom of our basket, we have some mystery seeds. Not We may just plant those up and see what happens. And then we have a whole bunch of impatience that we ordered because we have a lot of shady spots and thought it would be good if we could have a start a bunch on our own, so we'd have more plants. We'll see how that goes. And then we also, I think that's a dahlia tuber that broke off. And we have some mystery seeds that have fallen in the bottom of our basket, so we'll just plant those up as well. So there you have it. There's my seed starting possibilities. My pile of possibilities. is what happens when you let himself go to the store by himself. Why, yes, I am coming to you from my bathtub. I love this tub. I call it the old people tub. When I saw it when we moved into the house, my first thought was, well, I can grow old here because there's an old people tub. There's also a walk-in shower, just like right over there. Um, but one of the things I absolutely love about it is such a great space for houseplants. And this is where I keep a lot of my pothos. Pothos. I think it's pothos. I'm from Oklahoma, who knows? These green plants. And they do so wonderful in here. There is a skylight, and there's a window here that is open sometimes, sometimes not, depending on my mood. Um, they do really well in the bathroom. They get indirect light, and they just thrive here. And usually I water them when I've been in the tub. I do bring the little when I'm done. I bring the little hose out and I water the plants. So a little tour of what is in here. So first up, this one has water in it still. See this green and white? This one is called Pearls and Jade. And that pot needs some some getting the oot off the edge. And then this one, let's see if I could just bring this back to you. This one is called Lemon Meringue. Lemon Meringue. What a great name for a plant. And it's a newer one. And, from time to time you will get like a dead leaf, like that leaf's trying to turn a little bit. And I've got a few in here. So you just pluck them off. This one, let's pan this. Whoop, not that way. This way. This way. This one is my absolute favorite. It is limelight, lime. Anyhow, neon. It's called neon. That's what it's called. Neon. It's called neon. I love the green, the neon green with the dark little bits that come in there. It is my absolute favorite. As you can see, it puts on a lot of runners. They've run over here, they've run back here. And you can trim those and just stick them in some water and they will root and you will get a whole another plant. And then let's see, this one up. This one is Marble Queen. Marble Queen. There's so many cool varieties of these plants and just various shades of green. But the most common one you will see, and in fact, if you see one and it doesn't have a name, it's this one. This one is golden pothos. And you can see it's got a little bit of color on the leaves and so this is the one you will find most everywhere. You can find them at the grocery store, at Lowe's, Home Depot, any place you're looking for plants, you can find these. Why you would buy one, I don't know. You just need to find some gardening friends, join a garden club, and somebody will give you a cutting. You can stick it in water, and you will have your own. But yeah, this is the most common one. So yeah, I stick these are all around my tub. Oops, covering my phone there. These are all around my tub, and even when you're not using the tub, you just walk in and you just make me happy. And then of course we have Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy Duck, and we have Jane Austen Duck. because we are on theme. So all of this brings me to my final Friday thought. Now, I was rereading this book, Living a Beautiful Life. 500 Ways to Add Elegance, Order, Beauty, and Joy to Your Every Day of Your Life by Alexandra Stoddard. Now, my original copy of this book I bought when I was newly married in my 20s. And this is the first book that taught me how to make a house a home. While, yes, it's a bit pretentious in places, um, even back then I recognized that. But it taught me things like eating seasonally and having flowers in your house or potted plants around your tub. And so my favorite, my copy I had highlighted all my favorite things because there's these little what she calls grace notes that for every section of the house, the kitchen, the bathroom, the bedroom, whatnot. So I had highlighted my favorites and whatnot. So when after the house fire, I found a copy on eBay and replaced it, and I read it from cover to cover, which I hadn't done that in a long time. It was mostly I just read my favorite parts, reread my favorite parts from time to time, and I was surprised how much of the stuff stuck with me. The things that that I read here as a 20-year-old that are still with me here as I'm about to turn 60. So I saw this recommended on Jen's Reading Life, a YouTube channel that I follow, and as a comforting nonfiction read. And it is comforting, and I recently just reread it again. And once I said yes, it is a bit dated. I'm pretty sure nobody is going to be calling the telephone company and asking for an extra long cord for your telephone so you can talk on your landline while making dinner. That's how old this book is. What year was this published? This was published 1986, which is about par. I probably picked it up. Oh no, this one says it was published in 1988. So that's probably about 88, 89 is probably when I picked it up. So that brings me to my final Friday thought. I read a lot of her books. She was an interior designer, and th- she wrote a lot of books. This is the one that I like the best, and the one that I've always had a copy of in all my adult life, and has really stayed with me. And one of the things that she always talks about is not just decorating your home, the front where people come in and see the areas where you entertain, but the importance of having beautiful spots that are just for you. And this one is for me. I mean, yeah, I himself sees it when he walks in, but and if I give you a tour of the house, you would see it. But for the most part, these plants are just here for me to enjoy, and they make me happy, and they just make this space just cozy. So yeah, when I want to use my tub, I can sit here with surrounded by my plants. And yeah, final Friday thought is gardening doesn't necessarily have to be some big dramatic thing that everybody sees, that big fancy whatever in front of your house. Sometimes gardening can be as simple as having house plants that you love somewhere just for you. In the category of things that just make me happy every time I walk by them, pink ice amaryllis. I mean, it like almost has little glittery bits. It's just so pretty. So I have come back in here to the back of the house to my bathroom in today. Time to get my shower and call it a night. And this amaryllis is just so beautiful. So I actually bought this one at Walmart a couple of years ago. And I did the whole put it into dormancy and all the things and whatnot. And so it started blooming a few weeks ago, and this is actually the second stalk of blooms. And for whatever reason, it just went bonkers. And it was literally almost 2 feet tall. And I had it propped up against against the wall in the guest bathroom, just to like give it something to lean against. And once it got ready, budded out like this, and a little bit, you don't want to cut them quite too early, but it was starting to flower. I cut it. They make excellent cut flowers, amaryllis do. And so this is on my dressing table in my bathroom, and it is just gorgeous. It makes me happy every time I walk by it. And this is why you should have plants in spaces that are just for you. Probably nobody coming to the house is going to see it unless I bring them back here and go, please look at this amaryllis that's in my bathroom. But the importance of having beautiful plants just for you, just to make you happy. Look at that. Such a gorgeous thing. And it'll be there in the morning when I sit at this little table, dressing table, and put my makeup on, and I will look at it again then, and it will make me smile. Just a gorgeous plant. Not so much a blooper, but a correction. This variety of golden pothos, that is the one that I am talking about. You can usually find a gardening buddy who has one to share. The other ones, yeah, you might have to buy them. Depends on the collection, and I particularly like when I know their names. So lots of times people have varieties, but they don't know their names. So if you're wanting a fancier one, a brighter color like the neon, then yeah, you may have to actually spend some money on one. And this is where I keep some of my collection of pothos. I think that's how you say it. Pothos? Pothos? Let's Google that. It is so dusty in here. These plants need a bath. All of this area, I need to take everything off and spring clean. It's on the list.